as we go into the Q&As as well. So welcome, Dennis. Thank you for joining us today. It's great to have you with us.
Thank you, David. It's great to be here in my first SDI webinar.
Welcome. It's good to have you with us. And I can see your slides are all ready to rock and roll. So without further ado, over to you. Thank you.
Excellent. Thank you. Hi. Today, we're going to be speaking about Freshworks, the ESM ITSM solution, and how you can gain competitive advantage in your service management. So Freshworks as an organization is a multi-product firm. We've got 12 enterprise-ready solutions, including the ITSM solution and ESM solution, Freshservice, that we're going to be showcasing today. All of our solutions service 175,000 customers worldwide, internationally. Our journey started in 2010, and as you can see, we've built out our solutions over the years, our ITSM and ESM one being born in 2014 off the back of our customer-facing help desk solution, which is Freshdesk. So we've quickly realized that internal organizations needed a help desk, an easy-to-use help desk ITSM and ESM solution. So off the back of that understanding and need, we built Freshservice in 2014. Today's session, we're going to be looking at key service management trends. We're going to be focusing on some of the CIO and IT leaders' pain points. And then within the demo, we're going to show you an overview of what end user self-service portal looks like. We're going to be touching on how you can automate ticketing via self-service, providing that delightful experience whereby end users can get quick answers to the questions that they have, or essentially raise a request for anything that they need. We're also going to be looking at driving automation within self-service via Microsoft Teams and also our service bot, Ask Freddy. Now, the IT landscape is evolving. It has been evolving even through the last 20 months of the pandemic, where we've seen people move to home working and occasional office-based working. IT teams have kind of needed to adapt quickly and had to adapt to the new ways of kind of receiving requests from all of the kind of different communication channels, Microsoft Teams being one of them. And Freshservice was already ahead of the curve when we released our integration with Microsoft Teams that allowed end users to communicate with the IT departments in a manner that allowed them to raise requests or report any issues that would then create a ticket so that work was not being lost and end users were still being able to receive the same support they had when they were in an office. Then lastly, we're going to touch upon the no-code configuration of workflow automation within Freshservice and show you how it's such a simple and delightful experience to drag and drop the workflow configurator and build out the processes that you have in your organization today. So my name is Dennis Wahome. I'm a solutions engineer at Freshworks. Now, the Freshservice vision is there to essentially deliver delightful employee and customer experiences. The ethos of Freshservice is that the solution on the platform is intelligent, it's intuitive, and it's extensible. Extensible to the sense that you can offer it beyond just your IT organization, but to the rest of your business as a ESM solution that can be built out to a service request platform, whether it's for a HR department, whether it's your operations department, and end users need to request either private documents or they need to book a meeting room. Freshservice is extensible beyond just IT. So the world of service management is changing, and the main focus points are being able to drive value, being able to support an evolving workforce, and whether that's people working from home or whether that's people in an office or working internationally. And cloud transformation is a big part of every IT organization and every organization right now. IT leaders are seen as strategic business partners, and that's because they're responsible for procuring, implementing, and integrating and also providing support for all of these applications. Organizations are handling large digital workforce transformations in 2021, and they also will be in 2022 as we adapt to the new norm. And we need technology that support this. Now, organizations are also looking to drive a lot more automation, and we're going to be focusing on some of the automation that you can drive within Freshservice today. But these have to be deployed quickly and have to remain agile. We can't lose the kind of, you have to be able to adapt and adopt the processes you already have, but in an automated and digital fashion. So what are some of the modern CIO's pain points? Being able to drive measurable business value. IT teams are supposed to be supporting businesses whilst keeping the lights on and driving growth and generating value. Managing an evolving workforce requires tackling the demands of a workforce that could range from digital basics to digital natives in a hybrid work environment. And then optimizing and improving without adding cost. One thing we've seen in the last 20 months is that we have to be really mindful of how much we're spending and of our budgets, because it's been difficult to predict the coming future, the coming months. So all of this has to be done in a cost-friendly manner. All of the digital transformations need to make financial sense to the business. Now, introducing Freshservice. Just before we dive into the demonstration, I just want to highlight a few key points and ethos around the solution. Freshservice is designed to deliver end-to-end consumer-grade and end-user employee experiences. We've touched upon in today's SDI webinar about how an employee experience is really key to kind of aligning it to your service level agreements. You have to be able to provide an experience that is scalable and seamless for the organization in order to avoid any hard frictioning pain points. The solution also has to be intelligent. We're in a world now where we can use AI in the entire service delivery process, whether that's deflecting tickets by way of knowledge management and providing quick answers to end users that perhaps they may not need to raise tickets for, or whether that's sending out an approval process to multiple people so that things can be approved and moved along quickly. Now, from an extensibility standpoint, you have to have a solution that's got powerful integrations and workflows at an enterprise scale, but also focusing on an easy to configure solution that's going to drive value quite quickly. So we're going to now dive into the Freshservice solution, and we're going to take a journey as an employee in the organization. We're going to start within Microsoft Teams because this organization that we're going to be working for today is a Microsoft Teams house. They're heavily reliant on providing IT services through Microsoft Teams. And the Freshservice Service Bot is a great way to provide this self-service, but through a communication channel that's already quite popularized. Now, I'm signed into Microsoft Teams as John Longbottom. On the left-hand side, we can see the Service Bot, which is the application that essentially drives our Service Bot and provides end-user support. So for example, John can say, I need VPN access because he's working from home. And as he types in this request, the Service Bot will start typing, providing you with that normal human interaction where somebody's typing and they come back with your message. And then the Service Bot provides you with a way for you to place a service request to gain VPN access. So in this case, we have to place the request and we have to fill out a little bit more information. This is a configurable form that allows you to specify what you need and perhaps where you might be where you might be located, and the VPN you need access to. There we go. We'll place that request, and now that's now sitting with an IT agent ready to be worked on. Now, the request has been placed. If, for example, we have a different query and we perhaps need to ask a question or we need to raise a ticket, we can say my printer is not working. The service bot again tells you that this is something you need to raise a ticket for. So we can actually go ahead, raise a ticket from within Microsoft Teams that's going to be routed to the specific delivery team. Here we can actually use the configured form that your IT teams are going to receive in order to give more information about the nature of this issue. So we'll raise that ticket, and then as you can see, we've now raised the ticket. We can keep track of this ticket as it's being worked on, as the statuses are updated and our delivery teams are communicating back to us. We will receive Microsoft Teams notifications the same way we would if we were communicating with somebody. So that's the Microsoft Teams integration via Service Bot. We're now going to walk into the end user portal where we're going to show you the same process, but within a customized and configurable portal that IT organizations can provide to their organization. I'm signed in as Nelson Robertson via way of single sign-on. We do support multiple single sign-on identity providers such as Microsoft Active Directory, Okta, Google, and many others. So essentially, when users sign into the portal, they're using the same credentials they sign into with on their laptops in the morning. Now, just to make you comfortable and give you an idea of this self-service portal and how it works, it can be configured and branded, as you can see, to your organization's needs. It also can be configured in terms of visibility based on who you are, what level of access you should or shouldn't have, and certain things you should and shouldn't see. So you can make it very relevant to each department or part of the organization. As you can see, there aren't multiple buttons here. It's just 4 simple buttons based around what I need to do every day. Below here, we can see the open tickets that I've created in the past or perhaps need to keep track of. On the right-hand side, we have the status. This amber box is the ticket status. The name of the game here is visibility. As long as you can see the status of the ticket, you don't need to chase up with your IT teams. So let's report an issue. Keep an eye on the right-hand side. At the moment, there isn't anything visible there, but if, let's say, I needed to find out how to connect to the Wi-Fi. As soon as I enter in my subject, you can see here that Freshservice cleverly suggests the solution article that I need to actually connect to a Wi-Fi network. Now, this is an automated way for you to drive ticket deflection and promote self-service. In today's day and age, when people are working from home, it's difficult. You can't walk up to IT and get quick answers. You need to be able to get quick answers, get information, and this is a great way to do it. So an end user can view the information here, either look through the images, look through the list, or even watch a short embedded video on how to connect to Wi-Fi. So in the case that the end user perhaps still needs a little bit of support, they can continue to fill out the rest of the form. Now, this form that you see here is configurable and customizable based on the information that you need end users to capture. Now, one thing you'll notice here is that we don't have many technical jargon terms, and that's by design. Freshservice allows you to have 2 sets of terminology, one for your end users that need to be able to tell you as much information about the nature of the problem, but without being confused with technical jargon. So here, this field says, who does this impact? And as we can see, we're not seeing the expected urgent, medium, high, low. We're seeing only me and my department, and the entire floor. However, on the agent side, the IT person side, we're going to see that that translates into our typical ITIL terminology: urgent, high, medium, low. So we're going to say that this is going to impact me and one other person. Andrea is struggling with this too. And down here, so the beauty of the description field is it allows you to add as much information as you want, but also as little information as you need to. Now, if you're in a rush, this might perhaps be the less favorable way to record information. And that's when you can make use of fields such as dependent fields. So a dependent field is a field that you can build out across 3 different levels to help the end user understand which answer is the most relatable to their problem. So in this case, they're facing a network issue. And as you can see, as soon as I choose network issue, I see network related options here. So internet is the issue, and the sub-issue type is no connection. That quickly helps the end user describe the nature of the problem and give IT teams the information and understanding they need to deliver the service or restore the service. Now, Nelson's going to associate his asset, so he can only see the assets associated to himself. This is his laptop that's been pulled through using some of the agent discovery and asset management, so we can keep track of each user's machine, whether it's at home or whether it's in an office. Now, we've created that ticket. How quick and easy was that? On the right-hand side, there isn't an agent working on it. There isn't a status. The status is currently being processed. But if we actually refresh this ticket, we can see that Max Verstappen, our friendly service desk agent, is now working on this ticket. The status has also been updated so that the end user stays in constant communication and understanding of where their tickets are at all times. So that's an example of being able to provide self-service incident management and also knowledge management and information sharing via this end user portal. Let's quickly dive into requesting a service. Freshservice offers self-service catalog management, whereby you can build out your own self-service catalog with different categories here on the left-hand side, based on the different levels of service or different products or different processes you have, whereby people need to raise a request for. And then here we have all of the items. Now, again, this can be configured on the visibility of these items can be configured based on perhaps the department you're in, location you reside, or any of that kind of information. So to show you a quick example of kind of different levels of visibility, Nelson has nothing relating to finance here. But if we switch across to Andrea's platform and go to service request, in the portal, we can already see Andrea has a lot more buttons here because Andrea is an approver and she manages onboarding. When we raise a service catalog, we can see that we've got a lot more options. Again, by design, you get to choose who sees what based on their job role and what's relevant. Because we need to make the self-service experience as easy and relatable as possible. So let's say we're going to raise a request for a meeting room. As you can see, again, this is a configurable form. It's no code to design this form. It's all drag and drop. You can choose what information needs to be captured and what information is mandatory or not mandatory based on the information you need to process this request. So Nelson needs to book number 10 Downing Street. We can specify the date we need the meeting, the time we're going to need the meeting, and the duration. So we can also put our name on it so that everybody knows who's booked the meeting now. So we can go ahead and place this request for ourselves or for somebody else. Once the ticket has now been created, and now it's waiting for an agent to start working on. We have a notification bell here that keeps us informed of all of the updates to our tickets. We'll also receive email notifications or mobile app notifications if you're using the Freshservice mobile app as an end user or as an agent. So that's the end user experience. We're now going to dive into Freshservice from an agent's perspective. As soon as you sign in to Freshservice, I'm signed in by single sign-on, and I'm presented with these dashboards. Dashboards are your single pane of glass, your cockpit to understanding what's happening, what views you need to be kind of focusing on, and you can also change views to have, for example, a service desk manager view, whereby you can keep track of the number of tickets assigned to agents and also assign work as and when it needs to be assigned. And you can also focus on any problems within the organization that need to be addressed. Now, following on from our focus points of today, we're going to touch on workflow automation and how easy it is to create a workflow rule similar to the one we just created, whereby Max Verstappen was quickly assigned to the ticket based on him being a hardware specialist and a network specialist, and the nature of the problem being a network-related Wi-Fi issue. So with Freshservice, when you're creating a workflow, it's really straightforward. Again, we really take advantage of a no-code approach. Everything is drag and drop, click to configure. So here we're saying if a ticket is raised, and we can say by anyone or an end user, so a requester, in this case we'll say requester, you need to specify condition. A condition is what we're going to look for in the ticket fields based on information that's been entered in by the end user. So for example, we can say if the end user belongs to a specific group, let's say the finance team, we can't afford any downtime with them. We need to treat them as VIP users. We can then specify an action that needs to happen. We can set the priority as high, and we can change the status to pending, so that essentially it's been updated, they know that somebody's working on it, and we can assign to a specific group. So we're going to assign this to our help desk monitoring team, who are on hand all the time to provide quick, sustainable support. So that's how easy it is to quickly create a process using the workflow automator. As you've seen, it's all click to configure and no coding required. So that brings us to the end of my presentation and demonstration. I'm happy to take any questions you may have, and thank you for your time again.
Brilliant, thank you, Dennis. That's again another great overview there. Thank you very much indeed. We've got one question come through from Sean, who talks about the dashboards. Are the dashboards a live view at that point in time? So are they live? You know, as you can use them. So I'm assuming that means, Sean, are they pulling data live? That's what I'm assuming, yeah.
Absolutely, David and Sean. The dashboards are a live view that are refreshed every 30 seconds. So they're bringing information as soon as it becomes available or is updated.
Excellent, that's really great. We're pretty much on time, I think, there, Dennis, so thank you for that. Appreciate that, and I think you'll be joining us not too long now on the first Q&A session. So